Hello everyone. Today we shall look into the store analysis. Here I have opened the Power BI desktop. Here from the home tab, I'll click on get data. Let us import our Excel sheet, which is store. We have this CSV file where it is HM all stores. I'll attach the dataset link in the description. You could find it from Kaggle, and you could also practice. This is one of the basic report where I would like to make you comfortable with the Power BI desktop. I'll just open. Here you could see that this is comma separated file. I'll click on transform data in order to transform the data which is present. Here in Power Query editor, we could see this data. Here there are 21 columns. You could see from the left bottom, there are around 21 columns. Let us remove the unnecessary columns which are not required for analysis. Okay, we may require this store code. In order to see the column profile appropriately, just click on this column profiling from the bottom, select the entire data set. Okay, now you could see the appropriate column distribution. You could scroll to the right. We may require store code, store class we do require, store name we could make some analysis. This phone column, it may not be useful for me, hence I could remove this column. I'll right click and remove. Okay, I have this country, but I may not require this country code, hence I'll click on right click and remove. Okay, here I have latitude and longitude. I could make some use of it. Time zone index, I may not require it. I'll right click and remove. Okay, we have the open hours which are present from Monday to Sunday. We shall come back to this, our open hours within a while. Okay, moving ahead, I have this street name 1, street name 2. I may not require this because it may not be helpful for the analysis. If at all you are able to make some insights, please feel free to do so. I'll right click and remove columns. Okay, moving ahead, I would require this state and I may not require this address string. I'll right click and remove. Okay, we have removed few columns. Okay, now there are only 15 columns left. Okay, here in the store code, you could see that there are around 4290 distinct values and 4288 unique values. So in order to make it consistent and that one particular value, it is creating an issue. So what we shall do is we shall remove the duplicates. Here you could click on remove rows, remove duplicates. Okay, now after removing duplicates, you could see that there are 4290 distinct and unique values. Okay, now moving ahead, we had this open hours columns which are present from Monday to Sunday. These columns, if I unpivot, it will increase the number of rows. In order to deal with the open hours columns, what we need to do is we need to right click on this table when we are going to duplicate the table. Okay, in this duplicated table, let us select the required columns. I want store code. Okay, I want these open hours columns, and I don't want any other columns, so I'll remove other columns. So here you could see that I have store code and rest of the columns. Now what I'll do is I'll right click and unpivot other columns. Okay, here we have unpivoted other columns. You could see that there are 7 distinct values for it, and we have the respective values. Here instead of attribute, I'll write day, and here instead of value, I'll write open hours. Okay, from the day I do not require this underscore open underscore hours. I'll click on transform. I'll just extract first 3 characters. I'll write first. I'll click on first 3 characters. Here I'll type the count as 3. I'll click OK. Here we have first 3 characters from the day. Okay, and we shall rename the table as fact table, since this has more rows and we could connect it with the all stores table. which would be a dimension table. I'll write fact table, and I'll rename this table as dim store. Okay, we could recheck and see that we have the columns appropriately. Since we have moved these open hours columns, we do not require these open hours and these columns. What I'll do is I'll go to the previous step. Okay, I'll select all these columns with open hours, and I'll just remove it. I'll right click and remove columns. I could insert. Okay, now it has been removed. Here you could see that I have utilized only the dimensions, and the open hours columns which were present, I have separated it along with the store code in the fact table, and I have unpivoted it. I hope the necessary changes which are made in this table are understandable. What we shall do is I'll click on home, and I'll click on close and apply, and I'll close and apply. Okay, once we apply, it would load the transformations which we made from the Power Query editor. Here we could see that the data is now loaded into the Power BI desktop. We shall save the file by clicking on this save option. Here you could select the path, or else you could click on more options, browse this device. I'll click on this HM stores. I'll write as store analysis. I'll just save the file. Okay, now I have saved the file. I have brought my tables into the Power BI desktop. Let us click on this model view in the left side. I'll click on the model view. Here we have these two tables, as you could see. One is fact table and one is dim store table. These both are connected based on the store code which is present. Okay. Now we shall go to the report view. Here we have this canvas. I'll go to the format pane. If you don't find the format pane, click on the view. You can check this format tab. Okay, format button. Click on home. Here you could see that there is a format, and here I'll click on canvas settings. Make sure that you customize it according to your size which is required. I'll keep it default, which is 16:9. In the canvas background, what I'll do is I'll use little grayish color in order to showcase the screen. Okay, here I have little grayish color. You could reduce the transparency if you want more darker, or you could change the color as required. Now I'll keep this color, and with this transparency, what I'll do is I'll click on this text box. Okay, I'll bring a text box. Here I'll reduce the size. Okay, here within the text box, here you could see in the format pane, I'll click on this size and style. Okay, for the background, here I could change the color. I'll change to this color which is present. Okay, now I have this color. I could even show the border and show the shadow, but for title I do not require that. And here I could provide the title. I could turn it on. If you want to provide the title, you could provide the title. Since it is text box, I would directly type it. Okay, I'll type store sales analysis. Okay, I'll select it, increase the size of it to around 44. Okay, now you could see that we have the store sales analysis. Let us change the color to the white. Okay, here we have changed the color to the white. We shall select it. I'll select this. Now here you could select the white color. Now you could see that my store sales analysis heading is made. If at all you if you see it more emphasizing, you could make it into like store sales analysis. I could make it center. Okay, I could even move this a little sidewards in order to put here. Okay, you could reduce the size or increase the size as per your requirement. Here what I'll do is I'll little make it rounded corners. I'll click on the size and style in the format. I'll click on the visual border. I'll turn it on. If I open it, here we have the rounded corners. I'll enter 12. so that I could get some fair rounded corners. Okay, we have the store cells analysis heading ready. Now with respect to the analysis, let us move on to the data tab, which is on the right corner. I'll open the dim store. I'll open this fact table. You could understand how we can analyze. Okay, we have city, country, latitude, longitude, and all the state and these columns. I'll move on to the data view. Okay, I'll click on the dim store. Here for city, you can select the city column. Click on this data category. You can choose city. It depends on what is the granular level at which you want to analyze. Here I am just changing the data category so that our map visual could take it into consideration. I'll select country for country. Here I'll select latitude. I'll change it to latitude. I'll select longitude. I'll change it to longitude. Here we have a few other columns, and I'll select state. I could change it to state or province. Okay, let us go back to the report. We have this simple heading and the canvas which we could see. Okay, this is our total canvas board where we will be creating the visuals. Let us create a measure in order to count the number of cities and number of stores. Here I'll click on these three dots. I'll create a new measure. Here I'll write cities equal to distinct count city of dim store table. I'll close the parenthesis, hit enter. Okay, I'll select the dim store again. I'll create a new measure. Here you could write stores equal to, you can write count, and you can write store code. In dim store code, we have the distinct values, so we don't need to use the distinct count. Okay, I made these two measures. I'll go to home tab. I'll click on this text card. Okay, from this text card I'll bring in the measure. I'll click on cities. Okay, here you could see that there are around 2521 cities. I'll go to format. Okay, I could turn off this category label. I could turn on the title. Here in the text I'll write hash of cities. Okay, and I'll change the text color to white. I'll change the background color to this color which we have used for the header. I'll align it to the middle. I'll increase the text size a little bit for around 16. I can minimize the size of it. Okay, I can round the corners, select the size and style. Okay, so let us turn on the visual border. Let us turn on the shadow. Rounded corners, let us round it to 12. Okay, we have this text card over here. I can put it over here. I can copy it. I can paste this here. What I can do is I can select it. Instead of cities, I can bring this stores. Okay, for the title I can change the title back to, instead of cities I'll write stores. Okay, we have these stores and cities text cards made. Okay, what we can do is we can make your arrangement according to your vision. Here I'll just keep it two sides. What I'll do is I'll bring the slicers. Okay, where I'll add the data of slicers. Suppose I'll add the country. Okay, here I have list of countries. Since there are several countries, I would like to make it as a drop down. What I'll do is I'll go to the format. I'll click on slicer settings. I'll click it. I'll check the drop down. Okay, I'll turn on the title. Turn on the slider header. In the title, I'll write country. Why we turn on the header and turn on the title is, here we could get little more customization for colors and other things. So here we'll check on this background color. We'll change the text color to white, align it center, increase the size a little bit. Okay, in the values, here it is the title. You could see the values, column, and here you could increase the size of values. Here if you would open the drop down so that it is properly visible. And in the size and style, what you could do is you could just make the visual border turn on, and you could round the corners. Okay, if you would like to give the white shadow, what you could do is you can turn on this shadow. Instead of color black, you could give the white shadow. So it depends on your priority. I'll just I'll select it. I'll format painter and select this. Okay, and even this country, I'll slicer. What I'll do is I'll copy paste it, Control C and Control V. I can make another slicer for state. What I'll do, instead of country, I'll bring in the state. Okay, for the title, let us go to the open the title. Let us change the title to state. Okay, now let us little rearrange it. Here I'll make the country. Here I'll make the state. Make sure that you make the uniform size, and you could make use of the size which is available in the properties pane. Here if you click on the size and position, you'll be able to see the height and width. Please align the height and width in the same way. What I'll do is I'll select this. Instead of state, I'll change it to city. Okay, now I'll change the title to city. So we have these three slicers. Now let us do further charts within this report. What we shall do is we shall analyze the store class. Okay, I'll click on this pie chart which is available in the visualizations. We have this empty pie chart. Okay, where I can bring the store class in the legends. I'll bring the store class in legends, and here I'll bring in the number of stores. I'll open the measure. I'll bring in the number of stores. So based on the number of stores, here you could see that it is classified as red, blue, flagship, F and some blank thing. Okay, here you could see that it is classified in this categories. So in order to make the change with respect to that categories, I'll click on transform data. I'll go back to Power Query. From the dim store table, here you could see that in the drop down we have F1 flagship. The both are same. So based on the understanding, what we'll do is I'll click on transform, replace values. So I'll write F, open the advanced options, click on match entire cell contents and replace it with flagship. Okay, I'll select OK. Now you could see that instead of F, you have this blue, flagship and red colors, or you could say store classes, and we have the blank option. Now what we'll do is we'll replace the values. Instead of blank, what I would write is unknown. Okay, I'll click OK. Here we have these four values. Even if you click on load more, we have these four distinct values. I'll just go to home, close and apply. Okay, now you could see that the changes are being applied. Now we shall make little changes for the format. Okay, here for the title, I want to mention that it is store class count. Okay, I'll write store class count. Okay, I'll scroll down, I'll turn off the legends, I'll go to the detail labels. Here instead of label contents, what I'll do is I'll select category and percent of total. Okay, I'll increase the value size to approximately 13, so that it is visible enough. Okay, and I want round corners. So what I'll do is I'll click on size and style. I'll turn on the visual border, click on the shadow. Okay, and I want a white shadow. Now I want a rounded corners. I'll click on the visual border. I'll change it to size of 12. Okay, now I have this format. What I'll do is, here for the title, I'll change the text color to white. I'll change this background color to the same color, this theme color which I have applied. Okay, and I'll center align the heading. Now you could see that my pie chart is made. Okay, here you could align it according to your requirement. Here I will align it in this way. Now we shall understand the map visual. I'll click on this map visual. Okay, here I have location. I can either choose the country location, or I can provide the latitude and longitude. Instead of providing country location, I'll provide the latitude and longitude. I'll provide the latitude, longitude. Okay, in the bubble size, you could provide the number of stores if you want. Otherwise, if there is any considerable measure which could show you the impact, you could make the necessary change over there. Okay, here I believe this format could work. Select the pie chart, click on format painter, select the map visual. So here you could see that the number of stores by latitude and longitude, we have a map. Okay, we could either increase and decrease the size a little bit. We could rearrange. We could select all these slicers. With the help of keyboard upper arrow key, I could move it a little. Okay, I'll select this pie chart. I could move it a little by the help of upper arrow key. Okay, here I could little bit make the size make a bigger size of chart of map. Now we shall understand how store names, what are the famous stores which are present. Okay, what I'll do is I'll select a tree map. I'll open the visuals. Okay, in the bottom here you could see the tree map. I'll select it. Okay, now in the category I could bring in the store name. I'll select the dim store and I'll select the name. Okay, now in the values I can click on that. I could bring the number of stores. I can bring this stores. Okay, you could see this kind of multiple visuals. What I'll do is I'll open the filter pane. Here I have stores and name of filter. Okay, here for the name filter I could click on top n. Okay, I'll write top 5. In the add data fields, what I could bring is the stores measure which I have written. Okay, I'll click on apply filter. Here you could see that these are the 5 top stores where number of stores present are more. Suppose Vanda Plaza, it has 25 stores, Mixi it has 7 stores, and other it has 6 and respective stores. So this could be highlighted and may be helpful for customers. I'll select the map visual, I'll select format painter, and I'll select this. So the format is being done. Here instead of stores by latitude and longitude, I'll rename the title. I'll click on format. Instead of stores by latitude and longitude, I'll write store locations. Okay. Here instead of stores by name, I would like to write top 5 famous stores. Okay, let us understand how opening hours and closing hours help. What I'll do is I'll click on this table, or else I'll make click on the matrix. Okay, I have this matrix visual. Here in the matrix visual, I'll select in the rows, I'll bring in the store codes. Here from the fact table, I'll bring in the store codes. Okay, if I scroll down here in the columns, what I'll do is I'll bring in the day. Okay, and in the values I'll click on this open hours, which is like the time from which it is open and time to which it is closed. Here you could see that from Friday, all these days I have the opening and closing timings which may differ. I'll click on the format. What I'll do is I'll turn off the column and row subtotals because the totals doesn't make any sense. Here within the column headers, I'll just change the background color. I'll change to this color so that the color is aligned. The text color I'll change it to white so that it is highlighted, and here I'll increase the size a little bit till 12, which could help you see all the respective days. And here we could see that the respective days are not from Monday to Sunday. Instead the days are like Friday, Monday, and randomly provided. In order to align it respectively and in order wise, what we need to do is we need to create a rank. Okay, in order to create a rank, I'll again go to transform data. Let us create a column in Power Query. Let us move to the fact table. Here I'll go to add column, create a conditional column. Here in the conditional column I'll write as day rank. Okay, here in the column name I'll write day. If day equals Monday, I want the output as 1. Okay, I'll add the clauses. I'll quickly do it, where if day is equal to TUE, the rank output should be 2. If the day is Wednesday, WED, it is 3. If the day is Thursday, THU, it is 4. And if the day is FRI, it is 5. And if the day is SAT, it is 6. Else, it is 7. So we have provided the ranks for the respective days. I'll click OK. Okay, I could change this data type to whole number. I could click on home, close and apply. Okay, the change is applied. Now what we have to do is I'll open the data. I'll click on the day. Okay, once I click on the day column in fact table, I have this sort by column. Select the sort by column, click on day rank. Okay, now in the matrix, after sorting the day, here you could see that the days are sorted from Monday to Sunday. I hope this report has provided you some basic understanding how to create charts, format it a little, and make use of insights. You could keep exploring the multiple data sets. Please practice. This is all for now. Thank you for watching, and we shall meet in the next video.